the internet and have like the clicking balls across there, just on the bottom tag.
Yeah, really need a logo,
Yeah,
like an insignia.
yeah, true.
I did think of one.
All right. The only thing is, what is the link to send people to get this?
The link is
Just our YouTube.
yeah. So you can see what the kind of delay is there.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I thought of this as our logo.
Yeah, that could work. Yeah, that could work.
Or a variation on that theme.
I just thought it was fun. Keep it. I don't think that shirt would actually fucking sell.
Yeah, probably.
A big fucking C,
Big
Luke E on the back.
All right, so you're sorting that out?
Yeah, I'm sending out a tweet.
Okay. We'll get started.
Yep.
So there might be a few people that have actually figured out that we're recording and streaming this live now. And geez, that's awkward looking at the live. It's about, 20-second delay?
Yeah, about that.
I'm trying to guess. When does my hand open up? And no.
No, then I'd take a drink, and I did that about 20 seconds ago.
Yeah, actually, it's a little bit more than 20. It's a good 30. That hand still hasn't moved. Come on, hand. There it goes. Hey! That was exciting. So anyway, Brenton's putting a tweet out now, so if you're lucky enough, you might actually see it live. We're just testing this because we've got a couple of ideas of things we can do in the future.
Yeah, sex tapes.
We could do. But anyway,
Not just us, like the girls involved too.
there's some footy to talk about. We'll go straight into it because it's finals time, and I've got to say, it's very happy that Friday night the underdogs finished lower on the ladder, had to travel to their home turf, and we managed to get up and secure ourselves a home preliminary final. That was fantastic to see.
I think it was compensation for those stupid fucking uniforms.
What are you talking about? They look beautiful in purple. I'm talking about the Melbourne Storm. Got up.
Fair enough.
Be the Sydney Roosters. Give them a hiding. Just got over the line, actually. But, I have to learn some of the players' names now. Because I know Billy Slater's not playing. I think Cooper Cronk could be injured as well.
Isn't this shit? Does Cam Smith still play? The captain or something?
Yes, Cam Smith.
Oh,
There you go.
I know
Love him.
rugby.
All year. He's had a great year.
Rugby.
Israel Folau's not there, is he? He's union.
Great coach in Nick Maxwell. I know he coaches something.
Yeah, isn't he a leadership coach
He's
or
in
something?
there, yeah, he's doing something in there.
Anyway, we may as well talk about Hawthorn and West Coast. Pritis out before the game. I thought there was... I had no inclination during the week that was going to happen. There was no talk about it until actually on Friday. So they kept that quiet very well.
I thought it was tons of talk in Perth and just no one paid attention.
No one heard over here. No, I didn't see anything. It's finals time. All that kind of stuff tends to leak out.
The reigning Brownlow medalist not playing would be front page news in every paper that's not the Sydney Morning Herald.
So I think they did an excellent job of keeping it quiet then.
Well, yeah, I assume they must have had closed training sessions all week or something. I don't know.
Something like that.
Sorry, I missed all that. I was still trying to sound this fucking tweet.
A bloke called Matty Pritis didn't play.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Why motherfucker?
Because I'm sick of people resting players and then getting real good next week.
It's fucking cheeky to rest him in the finals.
I thought it was arrogant, to be honest. Absolute arrogance from him. Funny game. The rain pissed down at the start and then pissed down right at the end, so it avoided the game.
Yeah.
Really.
It was almost torrential at the end of the game, wasn't it?
It was pretty bad at the start.
Monsoon coming in.
I saw videos of when the players are coming on the buses and that kind of stuff, and it was pissing down then.
Yeah.
So it just made it for greasy conditions, and Hawthorn did not handle the ball at all. There was turnovers for easy kicks.
They looked pretty tired as well. Like,
They're starting to look tired.
yeah,
Old.
Yeah, old and tired as well.
Yeah.
Looking at, and I mean, I think they probably would have done better to even have their own, like, not rest players, but go for a more speedy option, a speedy team, because the Hawks, they actually do have a lot of depth in their VFL squad as well.
Of course they do.
But the thing is, with VFL actually playing for a premiership, it's, I mean, not that Clarkson would compromise.
No,
his
he's
AFL
compromised
side.
the VFL Premiership last year.
Yeah.
He was very happy to do that.
But I would have liked to see a few more sort of small running players come in to sort of help control the speed of the game.
Well, one of the problems was Isaac Smith,
Yeah.
who had the knee injury last week against Carlton.
Yeah.
And anyway, got up to play. And I don't think he really fired a shot. I mean, he kicked a couple of goals late, but there was no run from him at all. So
Yeah.
I think it was a mistake to play Isaac Smith. But like you say, the Hawthorn looks slow and old because every contest had, if it was a one-on-one contest, the next 2 players there were Eagles.
Yeah, and not getting first the contest as well, where you had a lot of men who were left there by themselves in those contests, where help just wasn't really readily available.
I'll tell you one thing that did make him look a bit old as well is their testosterone issues. You've got McAvoy, Rioli, Lewis, Lake, Hale, all wearing the reverse yarmulke.
Oh, I got the old bald spot going on the back of the head there.
Bloody oath.
I don't know if there's...
Hale's got the bald spot going all
It's
over.
almost like the reverse Dusty Martin. You got hair everywhere else except for the crown of your head.
Yeah, I don't think that Hale's got much left. I saw some video package during the week. Oh, I was on the Cyril one that Fox Footy did, or Dermy Brereton did. And it showed like 2012 when he's got the full head of hair.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, geez, mate, you gave up on it quick. Good job. Made the right move there.
I like Joe Rogan's analysis of when he had his little hair transplant, where he's like, it's like taking some people from America and then trying to make them go live in Somalia. Like, why the fuck would you do that?
Shave it off, son.
Yeah, just shave it.
Jordan Lewis, I think, is the biggest culprit there, though. It's been a couple of years. It's going at
pretty close up there too.
He's thin all over, though. Lewis has still got some coverage elsewhere.
And I mean, it's pretty smart to not make Alison Clarkson feel so bad about his little balding spot that's going on there. It's not receding, isn't it?
I think it goes back to Dunstall.
I got to say, you've got Dunstall sitting up in the stands.
But remember when he tried to keep on a bit and he had that tuft in the middle of his forehead?
Right, the two high peaks going.
Yeah.
Just a little bit there, and then I think somebody's gone, Chief, give it up here. It's not working, champ.
Yeah.
His head is sending an SOS. ..
Well, he even got a helmet just trying to save the hair that he had left.
Just hold it back on.
Yeah. Just, no sun, no nothing like that.
You could have stuck a wig to the inside of the helmet so it pokes out through the holes.
Done the Agassi. You got the headband on and stick it out the top.
But Eagles, look, that was their most impressive game of the year by far.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember when we had Joffa in, and he said, and we all agreed, that the Eagles were being flattered by their draw at the first half of the year.
Still not convinced. No.
If you're not convinced from Friday night, you're never going to be.
Well, I haven't checked with the bookies or anything, but I think that they might have sneaked into favouritism, if not just behind.
Deservedly
Freo.
so. I mean, they took Hawthorn apart.
Yeah, everywhere.
I was going to say, if they're not favourites, it's only because no one out the West has got any money left and they can't bet on him anymore.
The iron ore's gone down.
Gina Reinhart's taken her cut out of the economy, so everyone get fucked.
The thing that really stood out to me was West Coast sticking tackles. Hawthorn break tackles left, right and centre. Them, Western Bulldogs and Richmond are brilliant at it. But West Coast was sticking them. And guys like Rioli, he very rarely gets caught holding the ball. He got done twice, I think, in that game.
I don't remember him getting done, but it could very well have happened. I blocked out many things.
On the wing going into the forward in the last quarter, I believe.
I block out many things from the game, so you could tell me anything happened and I'd believe you.
Mind you, Rioli's opening quarter.
Yeah,
how fucking good was that?
He had a good game. I don't know what anybody was about. I mean, he missed a couple of shots on goal that he should have
cleaned up a good one right at the start too.
Yeah, yep.
Oh, that was a killer.
Ellis it was.
Yeah.
Very clumsy. Didn't nothing to answer for at the MRP, which I think is about right.
Yeah. I think it was West Coast just trying to put a physical presence out there first, be on the front foot.
Finals footy, you have to.
Yeah. Yep. Because I mean, Hawks can really put that aggression on you with the team they've got and the harding players. And
well, that's what I've been saying all season. Hawthorn have been playing finals football during the regular season. They've been hard at the ball, intimidating the captain. Which is a way you play finals footy. Yeah. And West Coast have stepped it up. And look, you wouldn't say they physically intimidated Hodge, but they kept his contribution to the minimum.
I mean, he was one of the better players for Hawks, but that's not really saying much.
Yeah, and I think with Hodge, he's
Mitchell was the best.
He's dangerous around the goals, but for the wrong reasons.
Dangerous around the point post.
Around the point post.
You'll have a look at the stats of this game, and never mind the score. That score is flattering because there was 50 points at 3/4 time, and then
they queued in the rack a bit.
There was a queue in the rack. Absolutely, there was, and they were West Coast were already thinking about prelims.
Yeah,
Hawks got a couple of easy consolation goals,
but Hawthorn weren't going hell for leather either. They knew they had next week, so they weren't make or breaking it either. There's still tricks to be played by the Hawthorn team.
But what I'm saying is the game was over by 3/4 time.
Yeah.
So ignore the scoreline. All the other stats, it doesn't look like a 50-point win to West Coast.
No.
I mean, disposal-wise, they've only got 20 extras. Clearances, Hawthorn won. Centre clearances, Hawthorn's won. Inside 50s, 10 down, and that's the real big stat for West Coast on the night was marks inside 50 was something like 17-3 or something stupid like that. Tackles, Hawthorn won. Hit-outs, they didn't dominate West Coast.
Yeah.
So around the ground, the Hawks are holding their own. They just couldn't use the ball.
Actually, it's been around where stats really haven't told the story.
Exactly, yeah.
Although, one of your mates has really got a lot to answer for, Benny King. He's set a trend.
Yeah.
This round, every team that won the toss lost the game.
There you go.
So
nobody knows who Benny King is, though, but
he tossed the coin.
He's the lad that tossed the coin for GWS.
Yeah, and he was in charge of teaching other people how to toss. He's been a tosser from way back, and he failed. The tossers just weren't up to it. Fucking this game, West Coast Hawthorn, they tossed the coin. It was 2 tails.
Once again, Sydney people trying to ruin AFL.
Yeah.
Again.
But no, with this toss, the coin didn't have heads. So they
Really?
tossed it like, tails. Isn't it? Oh, we've only got... All right, this side's yours. We'll do it again.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
Oh, shows how much attention I was paying to the toss of the coin. I try and avoid the finals until the ball's actually bounced because you have so much going on.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, by the time, like right before the game starts, there's generally not much new to report unless there's a late out or anything.
Yeah.
So they're rehashing all the same bullshit they've listened to all week.
It is why, even when the game's on free to air, I like to watch the Foxtel stream because they actually talk about the game and going into it, and then they go, and here's the bounce.
And we're actually trying to figure out a way that we can commentate, like, not live, but maybe 20-second delay or something
Live
without
enough.
getting sued. Live enough, yeah, because fucking sick of shit commentating.
Everyone is.
Yeah, Bruce McAvaney, he's been a great servant of the game, but...
Oh, you keep Bruce around. Just
No,
need some funny cunts around
he was
him.
terrible.
Like, at least 3 funny cunts around him.
You keep committee stays.
Yeah,
committee stays.
Committee
yep.
stays.
Yep.
Just for his pearlers that come out every time.
Yeah. But
BT, you're going to struggle, mate.
Bruce knows fucking everyone, so you want him to be able to pinpoint who's who, and then you just steal off him.
I was watching Open Mic with the Corns family.
Oh, yeah. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, it was. It was really good.
You were with the Corns family?
Yes, Open Mic with the Corns family. Don't worry. I think the Corns family have watched it a dozen times since.
They just keep retweeting the link to it.
And I think it was Kane was saying that before the grand final in 2004, Bruce called him that morning.
Really?
Called him up and just said, just let you know, the ball bounces a little bit different than the MCG. I'm like, dude, he's played there before, but how many players does he call up on grand final, the day of grand final?
You think he gives an inside tip?
Yeah.
He runs through a pop at the races.
Yeah, exactly.
Just trying to get a little tip off
He
some
loves
of the,
his races,
some of the
Brucey.
He does.
He'd have every player's phone in his phone book from the last 20 years, I reckon.
Oh, go back, even for. I don't know about in his phone book. When you say phone book, you mean a physical.
Yeah,
that's
one
it.
with a Rolodex.
The letters down the side, you put your thumb on it, and that's where you go to.
And he's probably got height, weight, partner's name, kids, birthdays, favourite foods, everything in there.
We were a solid
ASIO could do worse.
Where he saw him back of house, sort of in the change rooms thing, and he's like, "Oh, g'day, how you going? Yep. So your mum and dad are in town this weekend to watch a play."
Yes.
He's like, "How the fuck did you know that?" Like, I'm
Bruce
a nobody
knows.
at that point too, like third year in or something.
Yeah.
So if ASIO haven't hired him by now, then they're wasting their time.
They can't outbid the Russians.
On to the actual game. I think what was most impressive about West Coast Eagles was none of them really dominated for the entire game.
Yeah.
No. Kennedy had his moments where he was taking the game on. Lacroix, Elliot Yeo, but none of them were absolutely dominating all night long. They sort of almost took their turns.
Yeah.
There was always some Eagle who was dominating some part of the game.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Kennedy got 3, and he had a pretty good game.
Sticky fingers. He took some nice marks.
Weight with 4, bets with, 5?
5.
Ex-Carlton players had a fucking good round.
Yeah, no, there's motherfuckers.
They had a lot of them, except for Griggs.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway.
Right. But anyway.
Yeah, only 2 teams in the finals don't have ex-Carlton players, and that's Hawthorn, who have an ex-Carlton coach,
Yep.
and Fremantle, who are Fremantle. Sam Mitchell, I think, during the week, Adam Simpson said he wasn't going to tag Mitchell. Turns out he didn't need to, but he was the most influential Hawk on the field.
By far.
Be interesting to see if he gets different treatment against Adelaide this week.
Yeah, I mean, you say that West Coast didn't really have any stars. I think Lacroix and Nick Natanui. Lacroix he only got a couple of goals, but he was involved in just about every score I saw them get. His ability to find a target in the forward 50 was fucking outstanding.
Yeah. Was it in the second and third quarter when he really stood up and kicked some nice goals?
He did, but he also was able... Some forwards, you see them handball off when they don't need to, or they do weird centering kicks if they're not confident, but he managed to make exactly the right choice on when to hand off, when to take it himself, when to shepherd, and when to lay the tackle. His forward pressure was fucking fantastic.
On Nick Nat, I don't think he really dominated. It was the big talk during the week was what's he going to do, because he wasn't there last time Hawthorn played, and Ben McAvoy, David Hale was the ruck duo from Hawthorn. Neither of them are massively tall and certainly not athletic. Sinclair is a massive unit, and Nick Naitanui, we all know how athletic he was. They won the hit-outs. Hit-outs to advantage, I don't think, was really that big. But clearances and centre clearances were won by the Hawks, so they were reading his hit-outs very well. So he wasn't as massively damaging as he could have been.
See, I've got to disagree. I think he really took hold of that game.
But where?
Well, pretty much in the around the grounds, because he really managed to get a lot of hit-outs to advantage around the ground. They might have ended up even, and he'd have a quiet first half, but a lot of the time they were able to find open players and get the second, third out and get the ball moving.
He made a lot of contests where it's one-on-one, and the Hawks kicked it to him. But it was the 2 or 3 West Coast midfielders that got to the bottom of the contest, and always front and centre. That's where they really won it.
See,
he didn't. I mean, he only had 12 touches.
I don't think Nick Naitanui ever really completely dominates a game. I think he has pieces of individual play that can change a game. But I don't think he ever really, from lights to flag, dominates a whole game. If that makes sense, he's not that sort of player.
He is a unique player in that he can do things that nobody else can do.
And he can play. He's a multi-player position, not just like a backman or ruckman, but he can play around his knees, play one-on-one, play in a pack, play tagged.
You say he got 12 possessions, but that's the equivalent of McAvoy and Hale combined.
Which. But again, they're not
Hale did get subbed out, which I thought was rough. I thought Hale was not deserving of the sub vest, but obviously I'm not an AFL coach, so that was a game plan they had, and they went with it.
They want to
stick him on ice.
Jure was the sub, so you wanted speed into the game, which is where we were lacking.
I would have taken Frawley off, to be honest.
He had a bad one.
He had a fucking shocker.
It was very interesting moving Lake into full forward. I thought it was a smart idea because Frawley was getting beaten. The marks that Kennedy was taking, well, a lot of the time was when it was in transition and they're trying to cover two people. Doesn't matter. Nobody's going to win those. So move Lake, try something. I thought it was a smart move. It didn't work because, they still lost, but it was worth a punt.
I think, too, that you were getting Hawthorn were getting hurt on the rebound. So they were kicking in the forward 50
because they were turnovers. Turnovers all day.
Put Lake there, one of the best spoilers in the competition.
At least he might.
At least it comes to ground, and if the ball goes to ground, and you've got Drea, Hill, Rioli around the ball, you'd have to back yourself to get at least half of those.
But didn't work out because they were handball into behind people, and like we said, there was 2 or 3 Eagles at every contest.
But
their fitness was unbelievable.
The pressure on the ball carrier was spectacular. I can't remember seeing many Hawthorn players with space.
And even when they had space, they still fucked it up.
Well, they did that too. But McGovern as well. He is one of the guys that I thought could really take this game by the scruff of the neck. He was off for most of the second quarter.
Very interesting playing him after he
done a shoulder.
Did they rest him last week? I'm trying to remember against St Kilda. I got a feeling they did. Yep. Oh no, Will Schofield they definitely rested, and he came back in and had a good game.
McGovern had a bit of a jab.
That's right. He was nearly going to go off in the first or second quarter.
But came back on and played really well.
Sherry Wellingham had a great game too. There was in the third or final quarter, there was a lot of one-on-ones with him and Brad Hill. Now, marking contest. Now, that's not Brad Hill's game, but still, Sherry Wellingham beat him all hands up and did it 3 or 4 times in a row.
He's underrated, Sherry Wellingham.
I think he's come along very strongly this year.
The other thing I found funny too, had a good game for my money, but Scott Selwood managed to bob up a bit. If Eagles actually go and get a flag, how much harder will it be for him to hand in the Geelong request?
I don't think it's too hard. You can take a flag and run. Worked all right for Franklin. He was happy to do it.
He got 10 years and now a bit of a rest, so.
Well, that's something different. But no, look, the Eagles had winners all over the ground, and it's pretty hard to lose a game of footy when that happens. So they're going to very much enjoy their week off.
Gunston injury too. That is going to be dirty.
Can't see him playing again this year.
Look, he's leading goal kicker, so obviously he's someone you're going to be looking for, and he's a future superstar if he's not at that level already. But an ankle to do it the way he did it as well, where it looked like pressure on the knee too.
I thought he broke it when he first did it.
He heel hooked himself.
And
I think got a little bit of an ankle tap.
Actually quite impressive.
Oh, there was nothing.
No, it was incidental. They were both running the ball and just a tiny foot tangle and rolls an ankle and knee takes torque and just, it was bad, and that's going to really hurt them. But like you said before, it all happened in the second quarter. 5-4 to 0-1.
Yeah.
Like, to keep Hawthorn goalless in the quarter is spectacular. To keep them to one fucking point, unbelievable.
I think there's only been 3 games this year they've had a goalless quarter, and they lost the other 2 as well, which was Sydney and Richmond. They had 2 goalless quarters against Richmond. So anyway, Eagles going to very much enjoy their week off, and hopefully that's the end we see of that Hawthorn Guernsey. Although I've got a feeling we might have to wear it again. On to Saturday Arvo. It was Freo versus Sydney. I was predicting a belting, and it didn't turn out that way. Instead, Sydney kicked themselves in the foot.
Yeah, they did. I mean, they're pretty wasteful around the goals. But the thing is,
wasteful.
That's always something you can kind of tidy up without too much effort. The fact that getting those shots to goals is kind of more important.
That's the hard part.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And you got no Franklin as well, so you're looking at people who different setup in your forward line. You've not got one sole sort of person who you're interchanging out with Tippett and who else I put through there. But
how many times in the last few years have we seen finals decided by who's more accurate?
Poor kicking.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. Like, Port Adelaide could have probably bobbed up for a flag last year had they managed to kick straight. They didn't. And
2013 grand final, 2012 grand final, both decided by poor goal kicking.
And a lot of that, it's also the moment. Like, you're playing in finals, and not all of us can have the cool head under pressure. But Sydney have been there and done it, and they've got premiership players and experience and top quality. Yeah, there's no excuse for them kicking 7-18.
Yeah, good youth too, which is kind of scary with the people they've managed to acquire, and they've still got youngsters coming through like Heaney and that who are dominating.
Yeah, I haven't heard much about that. There's a cola thing or something?
A what?
Yeah,
who knows? No coverage. Just looking at it too, there's no main culprit for the point kicking either. Yeah. I mean, they're all spread out, so it's an entire team. When you start missing easy ones, all of a sudden, it becomes the mentality.
You
like,
get the yips.
I hope I don't miss. Yep.
When you get players who are kicking them from over their fucking shoulder on the boundary line, just like, you get confident, you have a crack, and that sometimes come off. Or if you're Eddie Betts, they always do.
On that, Dean Towers, who's been a fringe player at best at Sydney, and only really got a run this year because of injuries.
Yep.
Played his best game of his very short career. I thought he always looked dangerous. It deserved more than only the one goal that he kicked. Took some nice grabs as well. But Kurt Tippett, he's strung together, I'd say, a month worth of good football.
Yep.
And he needs to be too, because obviously Franklin's not playing, and Sam Reid went down. I thought he was going to be the trump card for Sydney in this final series.
He's done, isn't he?
Gone.
That's all it.
Yeah, Hammy gone. Longmire's already ruled him out for the rest of the year.
Jesus,
that hurts.
So you talk about inclusions. It was gutsy to include Ballantyne in the team.
Yeah.
But fuck me, it paid off.
Didn't it?
That irritating little shithead managed to bob up for 3 and was just always in someone's ear. He lifts the team because the other team spends half their time going, fuck this guy.
Yeah, exactly right.
And every team has one, and every team needs one.
It's been a lot said about Michael Walters and how dangerous he is up forward. I think he seems even more dangerous when Ballantyne's in there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. 100%.
I think you got to cover too many people with those sort of small forwards, and no one wants to pick up Ballantyne because he's a cunt to be around. So
he reminds me of Didac.
They've only kicked 10 goals on the day, and between them, those two have kicked 6. So it tells you how good their small forwards are.
It was around for small forwards. They've been bobbing up left, right, and centre.
Adam Goods, I thought, continued. This year, he's played better than he has the last 3, I reckon.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I thought he was done. I thought he was lucky to get a year.
He should have retired last year.
Yeah.
That's what I thought at the time. But he's had a great year this year, and I reckon. I don't think Swans are going to win the premiership this year, and he said he wants to win another premiership before he goes.
Yeah,
I reckon just the lure of playing 400 games
could be.
Might just keep him on there.
I think North will put him to bed next week. That's more optimism than anything else, but we'll run with that.
I think also he started playing more of a role instead of a dictator of terms, if that makes sense. Like, he used to be able to dominate a game and really play it from the middle out and be around everything.
Off his own boot.
Yeah,
well, he's playing that veteran role now where he'll only bob up every once in a while, same as Brent Harvey does.
Yeah.
But the quality of touch that he has, he is brilliant under pressure and has generally good options.
Well, that's the thing. He's doing now what most people do when they're 33, if it makes sense.
Yes.
They start playing a role then, but he's managed to have a sort of a longer career and
he's
be
35,
so productive.
nearly 36. He'll be 36 in the off-season.
Yeah.
So he needs to play 2016, 2017 to get to 400. Obviously injuries pending.
Look, you'd say it's a struggle, but then again, they said the same about Brent Harvey and Dustin Fletcher.
And they keep going.
It always just matters how you end up in the last 3 months of your contract, because you have a good 3 months, then you're worth another crack.
Take his birth certificate out of it. Form-wise, this year, not a problem.
He's in the best 22.
Yeah, he plays next year.
Birth certificates are iffy at best anyway. So.
And, the funny thing is, he copped a bit of a hiding this week again, and there's been an upset about it. But, he can't complain about it next week, because there'll be about 8 North supporters there. So if people are booing him, it's because they're your mates.
It was still, though, Freo have managed to get this far, finish minor premiers, win an elimination final, still without hitting full pace.
Yeah, looking ordinary in the last 4 weeks, to be honest.
But they've done it all the time. They've done the bare minimum to get over the line.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the Formula One mentality. The ideal way to win is by a centimetre, because it means you haven't taken extra out of yourself, but you've still won. You've managed to do exactly what needed to do to get across the line.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Freo are doing. They're not trying to, belt everyone and intimidate the competition, because you can't do that these days, because everyone plays finals to win.
Yeah.
But they're making sure they get through the game and win, but they get through the game with few injuries and, a good run.
I mean, I'm not the only one that said it. They sort of get a lead and then go, okay, this is good enough, we'll protect it.
Yeah, exactly.
Not, we'll put this beyond out. Which, you look at Friday night, the Eagles in that third quarter got out to 50 and went, we're done.
Exactly.
Fucking 50. Catch that, you bastards.
Yeah, exactly. We will declare and we'll see what you want to do.
They laid one down. Well, the criticism of Freo has always been, do they kick enough goals? But if you can stop the other team kicking goals, you don't need to kick 20, 30.
Yeah, say you win or you lose.
And they say,
exactly.
If the other team kicks more than them, if the other team kicks 18 behinds, helps.
Yep. It absolutely does. And, if that was 18-7, then Sydney win no matter who they're playing.
Very easy, very easy.
But it wasn't.
There was a couple of times where Big Sandy is just going, stuff this shit. Giving a 30-metre punch. And geez, he gives a roar from the crowd. It's fantastic. Why doesn't he do it more often? Is all you got to say.
Yeah, that's true. I remember that was sort of the best sort of strategy for basketball. We had the person who was so big in the tip-off.
Yeah.
You just as soon as it gets thrown up, you just bolt.
Yep.
And it works, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was good enough for them.
That was the worst part, when you get a jump ball against the centre.
Yeah.
And you grab the ball and you're like, oh, fucking ball bag.
You don't jump, you just grab the bottom of your shorts. Works every time.
Let them go. Centreland's the lazy 43 touches. If he plays 2 more games, he's got a chance to get to 1,000 hit-outs for the year.
I think he needs quite a few. I think he's on 917.
Yeah.
So
that's 2 games. 45, 45. They get you there.
True. 45 is a good hit-out target. They want to get 43 this time.
Yeah. So he does that twice. He gets there, doesn't he?
No, is anyone really excited about 1,000 hit-outs in a season?
It's something.
Yeah.
Well, Goldstein's going to get it next weekend. He needs 17 more, I think.
Yeah.
We'll go to Saturday night at the MCG. And, okay, before we even talk about the game, MCG finals, 60,000 were there. Yep. So the game got moved from Etihad. I don't buy the fact that was disadvantage to the Bulldogs. That's just bullshit.
Not at all.
I'm glad that they got more than 50,000 because that justifies the move.
Yep.
I'd take 60,000 at the MCG for atmosphere over 50,000 at Etihad any day.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I reckon so. Like, Etihad's a great stadium, don't get me wrong. It's in terms of your viewability, facilities, easy to get to, it's
great.
World class, but the MCG is the home of football.
It's the MCG.
It's a fucking coliseum.
And when you get that roar just rotating around the ground and no stadium in the world gets near. And I'll say that having been to about 8 different stadiums in the world. But I'm fucking throwing that down there.
There's nowhere worse when there's 20,000. There's nowhere better when there's 60.
Yeah.
And MCG.
No worse when it's raining and cold either.
Oh, well, we went to a few rainy games. It's still okay.
Yeah, that's where you buy a couple of radioactively hot pies at the start of the game, put them in the pockets, and then by halftime they're good to eat, and you're warmed up.
I've got a mate of ours who buys 2 pies when he walks in, puts them in his pockets. He goes, by a quarter time, they'll be the right temperature to eat. Keep him warm. Beautiful.
Body temperature. Yeah, fair enough. Why not?
Okay, on to the actual game. 2 sweethearts of the year. Good stories. The Dogs have gone through adversity, losing players, coaches, and I tipped them to battle out for the wooden spoon, and here they are finishing 6th. Crows obviously losing their coach, and come through with late season wins to get up into the finals. Put on an absolute cracker,
wasn't it? That was fantastic match, fantastic to watch. Would have loved to have been there to see that atmosphere. I think it's a good showing from the Crows to be able to step out like that at the MCG, because obviously to win a flag, you got to win at the MCG, and you're going to have to be facing up against it if you're an in-state team playing at the MCG. So really impressed with what they managed to do, and especially how they managed to play the field, if that makes sense. Yeah. But their ability to find space in there was incredible.
There's so many stories in this one too. Like you look at one that stood out for me was Riley Knight. Had a good match. He got his first match the week of Phil Walsh's
passing.
One of the last phone calls he made apparently was to Knight, telling him he's going to get a crack. So, and he kicked a nice couple of goals, I think. He had definitely one. I think he might have got another one.
Just the one. Two. There you go. Kicked 2 goals straight.
He was, kissing the black armband and gesturing to the sky, and that was apparently dedicated to Phil Walsh. It still drives them, still burns them. Yeah, but at the same time, I wish that they'd stop asking him about it. Everything. It's like, post-match interviews, it's like, this one's for Walsh, wasn't it? Like, yeah, mate, he's actually a good friend, and he fucking died.
Exactly. Yeah, we've got it, and he's got a whole family that's grieving over his death. It's not about the Crows. It's about his family that have fucking lost their dad.
Yeah. End of the day, they are just playing football.
Exactly right. Yep. And to be fair, they've probably known him for 3 years.
Yeah. But knowing well, that's fine. But if they're going to grieve, we don't need to be forcing them to cry on screen.
Yeah. You don't need to pretty much just rape someone's misery for your own stories and headlines and whatever.
Have you seen the media?
Yeah. Well,
that's what we're saying. You don't need to.
Yeah. You can't really talk about the game without talking about the last 3 minutes.
It's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah. Lockie Hunter had a blinder of a game, but that handball.
Yep.
That's gonna just be acid in his stomach.
He's got a long time to think about it.
And it was just the right option, and it should have been a goal, but
well, that's what these games are made up of. Those little mistakes that you made, and you make them all night, but when you make them down at the death,
And I mean, do you remember Brad Johnson and
kick after the
Paul Hudson when they're playing the Crows in the semi, I think it was, to get into the grand final.
I think it was a prelim.
Going down towards the goal line, it's literally on the point line, more or less.
Yep.
Brad Johnson and
Paul Hudson both gone for it. Rushed it through. Yep. Just needed one person.
Yep. And just one person. Say it's mine, but with those 2 players, they're not giving up anything.
With the Lockie Hunter moment too, I think it really showed why Tex Walker is one of the better captains going around at the moment. Because as soon as it became a ball up, he called all the players. He said, spread out. We've got this, and made sure players weren't packing around the ball, so they had options. Ball comes out. I think Danger got a nice mark. Gets on to Walker, and he didn't blast away. He ran the ball. The crowd's willing him on. They're going fucking nuts. But he managed to find the good option to center the ball and kick on goal, and they win.
Well, what I found really impressive was that if you listen to the footy these days, everyone's about lowering your eyes.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of widening your eyes.
Yeah.
And I'm really impressed that Walker widened his eyes and
the peripheral vision was
found the right option. So you can expect lots of widening your eyes coming out of me.
You wouldn't have blamed him if he had a shot on goal, because even just to bury it deep in the forward line.
He's kicked one from 60, he's kicked another from 50, and he's screaming down the pitch, with game on his hand on his boot as a captain.
Had a couple of bounces.
And I reckon if he had a shot, probably would have kicked it too. So
to me, that was the captain's performance of the round.
Oh, by a mile.
By far. And for a rookie captain, he's gone from...
He revelled in the role.
Gone from a quality player to an out-and-out, unquestionable superstar. And he's in the All-Australian squad, and he might be one of the ones that could get a little unlucky to be dropped out, but I reckon he should be pretty safe.
I think he's pretty safe because he's one of those blokes that you want to have around on that season trip. Fucking funny bastard.
If they're heading off to Ireland end of the year,
yep,
you'd want to take the big lad over there. It'll be good. I reckon he might be able to understand the Irish too, and they might be able to understand him.
Yeah, that's it.
He'll probably take his mum too.
Bloody country bumpkin. For the Dogs, I mean, it's the one that got away, but they'd be happy with their season still. I mean, they're always going to come out and say, we're hurt by this and we're devastated. We want to go more.
Yeah.
This isn't the goal, but realistically, they performed well above themselves.
Yeah.
And earn every plaudit they get from here.
And they're still a very, very young side. I mean,
they got a lot of upside.
Except for
Bob Murphy. He still looks young.
Yeah,
he's an outlier, though.
He's setting off their average age by about 10 years. But so many quality players on every line. Like Easton Wood, he's going to be All-Australian, surely.
Yep, absolute lock.
Yeah, their midfield with Bont, Wallace, obviously Liberatore to come
Liberatore
back.
next year.
Dal Howes is still in fantastic form. Hunter, except for that one moment.
Makes one mistake.
McRae had a great game. So many stars. Their window isn't open yet. This is, to me, a bonus. I think they're around the same sort of recruiting level as Collingwood, but they managed to actually finish games.
Win a lot of games, yeah. They're going to be real contenders next year.
Another thing is, I think some of the players coming up from a good performance in VFL last week had pretty good play. I think Ling John did good. Even Goods didn't have lots of touches, but what he did, I thought he did enough to prove that he has that spot in that squad.
A lot of those guys played in the VFL Premiership last year as well.
Yeah.
And I've got a feeling that Footscray got knocked out in the VFL last weekend.
Last weekend
won. Just passed. No, Footscray won, did they?
Won by Tom Boyd kicked a goal with like seconds to go.
Did they really?
Won the game for him.
There you go. Yeah. I was wrong then.
Yeah.
So they must.
So they had the rest this week in the VFL. I think that and the rest, wasn't it?
No. They play in the prelim next week against somebody. I'm not sure who it's against.
Right. Sorry. I mean, they had the rest on the last week, on the weekend.
No, they lost to Hawthorn. Sorry, Box Hill.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I know they didn't have the rest.
Yeah.
Because VFL runs a week behind the AFL.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
Anyway, they'll have a bit of time to think about that. And again, what did they kick? 14-18?
Yeah, 14-18. Yep.
Shots on goal.
And look, it's hard to win these finals when you're kicking more points than goals considerably.
Well, yeah. And the other thing is too,
Richmond.
We've pumped up the doggies, but fuck me, the Crows are the real deal. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Dangerfield, even though there's the talk that he's going to go, and apparently it's a done deal, and if you haven't signed a contract by now, you'd probably have to think he is going. But I counted 3 contested marks in that last quarter alone, and each one of those marks could have easily gone to ground, or another player gets it and you're giving away a goal.
Yeah.
So his ability to take those hard contested marks for a midfielder with his mobility, fuck me, it's superstar.
Led his team in tackles as well.
Yeah, and look, if he does go, that's going to hurt Adelaide.
Of course,
no doubt.
Yeah.
But if you're Geelong, you've just added another 50 grand to his price.
Free up a fuck ton of cap room for him too, I would imagine. So a lot of big names coming out on the trade market. So it's probably a good time to snap up wherever it is to fill your team out.
They can't all be going to Collingwood.
Put a few meat on the bones. No.
Yeah, you got to look at him. Something like a Harley Burnell.
Yeah.
If he's on the trading block, and they've got plenty of room.
Look, something like that. I don't think Adelaide's necessarily such a bad spot to go. I think it's good.
Wasn't Suckling one of the ones mentioned?
He's mentioned to go Brisbane or Gold Coast. He's an unrestricted free agent.
Because also, Ablett came out saying that he wants Stevie J up at the Gold Coast. I didn't actually consider it, but I think it's a pretty smart move. If you look at someone changing the culture at a team that's fucked when it comes to culture, you got someone who's experienced in a side like Geelong and comes there with respect.
Also, he's no bullshit. So Ablett, for all his advantages, and there are very many, he's not one of those blokes that'll sort of grab the young lad by the scruff of the neck and say, don't fuck around. Whereas Stevie J absolutely will. He will get right into those young lads. That
don't you fuck around without me.
If you're doing it, I want to be involved.
He'd have that line, like when when it's all fun and games, he'll be in there. But if one of the lads is like, "Hey, let's go stab this dude," he's like, "No, chill the fuck out."
When you got big Tommy Lynch going for the big marks in the forward line, and Stevie J at his feet, it's not bad.
Yeah, exactly. And just in the club rooms and being around that squad and showing them what it takes to have a winning culture in that team and being a leader.
Yeah. So we're breaking this first. Stevie J is definitely going to the Gold Coast.
It's signed.
That's how AFL media works. You just make shit up, put it out there, and say it's fact.
A source.
Oh,
source.
Told
Got to
us.
protect him though. Got to protect him.
Got to protect that source.
It was someone who's definitely not made up.
T Marto is our source.
G Post.
The barbecue.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Crows were very impressive. Again, one of their most impressive games of the year since round 1, I reckon, where they blew North out.
Round 1 didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Look, Eddie Betts has kicked another 5. from limited opportunities. It's just what he does,
isn't it?
It's been an amazing year for him. A career best year at the age of 42.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing that's how old he is. That's how old he looks.
He looks 76.
It's like Benjamin Button.
It just getting better.
He looks like Lindsay Thomas's dad, and Lindsay Thomas looks 80.
And the interesting thing was the talk coming out about Carlton not deserving the priority pick based on all the good talent they've given away.
Well, it won't matter.
That's good enough reason for me to not give Carlton a priority pick.
No, I think it's give him the priority pick because in 3 years' time, when they develop that player, he's going to be a great pickup for someone.
That's true. We're getting him cheap.
That's the other thing. Like, do you need a good reason to deny Carlton a priority pick?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
I did see saying that ex-Carlton blokes have been going so well that John Elliott's going to contest the Canning by-election this weekend and fucking smash it.
He should challenge bloody Tony Abbott. Have a chance if he's going to go for it.
Have a three-way race.
Can you imagine him as PM? Fuck me.
Could you imagine anybody?
Well,
are we going downhill?
I'd have a crack.
I don't want to do politics. I thought, again, it shows how strong the Bulldogs are going in the midfield.
Yep.
When Sauce is dominating the hit-outs, and again, clearances, centre clearances.
Yeah, he wasn't our Sauce.
The way.
Just a Sauce.
Sauce Jacobs. All the way towards the Bulldogs. So much run in there. Something that the Crows will have to work on for next week.
Yep.
But they've got quality all over the ground.
And look, I remember when they made their coaching choice, and you're like, who the fuck is Luke Beveridge?
Yep.
Oh,
Who the fuck is he? He's done wonders with that club. He brought in a fresh attitude.
He's
and
coach of the year.
Just had no bullshit.
I don't give a fuck who wins the flag. He is the coach of the year.
Certainly, you've got a good case for being the coaching performance of the year.
Or just the fact that he's come out and said, look, you got to kick left and right, handball left and right, or fuck off.
That's what I loved.
Don't worry about it.
Boys, you got 6 months to find a left foot.
Yeah, and why is it taking this long for someone to come out and say that?
This shit might take off, you know? Because how many times do we see players kick on the outside of the foot and it just fucking goes nowhere?
On to the Adelaide Crows coaching situation. I think, how can you say no to Camporeale?
Yeah,
he's won a final with them. I think he's come out and said, I want the job.
Yep.
And I think Worsfold said, I don't want the Adelaide job, although I don't know if he's softening up.
Yeah.
There's a big offer from Essendon, apparently.
They'd have to throw everything at him.
Apparently, we know for certain that Essendon have been in touch because they got in trouble for it.
Yeah.
But
those fuckers can't get anything right.
Well, just read the rules first. Like, that helps.
It's not like admin's their strong point.
No.
True.
Like, we didn't call. We've got the records. Oh, fuck. We've got the records.
Oh, you kept those records. I think that Camporeale, you've got to look at him and say, mate, if he wants the job, it's his.
But also,
how could you not?
It's hard to knock him back.
Unless there's a premiership coach coming out of contract and, Clarkson says, I really want to go to Adelaide, then you'd probably be like, all right, mate. But he's winning. He's coaching a team that's up and about and will challenge any team in the comp.
Well, I think you have to consider how much of what happens is still the follow-on effect from Phil Walsh's plan, because he's been there for enough to set up a season structure-wise.
Set up a squad.
Yeah, and so I think you have to take on board what is he going to do on his own bat in the future, if this is truly as I say it is, because I don't know for sure, but I think that's something that has to be considered. You can't just go to him flat out, straight up on this performance, because you don't know, it could just be the follow-on from Phil Walsh's plan and Phil Walsh's vision coming through, but obviously he's not there, so eventually it's going to be your vision.
Yep.
Yeah, but also his ability to keep the players focused on the game and not be
swept up in the emotion.
Yeah, swept up by that. And, it's easy for players to just think, love you, Walsh, you just go smash someone.
Yeah, true. But I think it comes down to a captain as well. So I don't think that's all on his shoulders.
Well, it's always going to be captains get coaches sacked more often than not, because if the captain's not enforcing the coach's rules, then the coach can't do anything. Yeah. So Walsh and Walker had a brilliant partnership by all accounts, and Camporeale seems to be on the same page.
Well, that's the interesting one. You talk about key players and their relationship with the coach. If you wind your mind back to when Adelaide played Hawthorn round 12 or whenever it was, and Dangerfield sat on the bench for 5 minutes, which is probably 4.5 too long, having a massive argument with Camporeale.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, but is Dangerfield there next year?
Yeah, that's true.
We'll find out in due course, I think. But yeah, absolute cracker of a game and well worth watching again if you're a Crows fan.
With the Danger thing, Adelaide would love to have him, but if he even is only 90% sure he wants to be there, they're better off without him.
I don't know. I'd still rather him, I think.
I'd take him. I'd handcuff him to the fucking training park. I don't care.
I'd take 90% of Patrick Dangerfield. I take 50%, I think.
No, fuck it. He's in the Jesse Hogan pile now.
Now, on to Richmond versus North. And look, first thing I'll say about this game was impeccable umpiring. It was brilliant.
Great, wasn't it?
No controversy all night. It was great.
The thing is, what concerns me most, I think is more scary, was that it wasn't that the umpires were biased.
They were just shit.
It seemed like they literally had no idea what they were doing. And any bias was more or less arbitrary, which is scarier going forward.
Exactly. I mean, it's not bias, it's mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
And they happen. And obviously, we're talking about the one that even Hardwick said was, did he call it deplorable?
Yeah, deplorable.
Something like that.
But there was more than just that, like on both sides.
The no high tackle rule on Jack Ziebell in the last quarter, that was terrible, how he missed that.
It was very much, And see, that's a 50-50 call that didn't go North way.
Yeah.
The next one, the holding ball decision was a 99-1.
Yeah.
That didn't go their way.
I watched that on slow-mo, and you see Cunnington's lace hit the ball. Yeah. He left his shoes undone for that exact reason.
That's the thing. In that incident, though, if you go back and watch it again, I
was holding the ball every day of the week.
Yeah. But I like to stick to the mixed martial arts maxim where you don't leave it in the hands of the judges.
Yeah.
And so you don't rely on any umpire decision. And as soon as Edwards made that tackle, both
They
him and
stopped.
Grimes stood there and looked at the umpire.
Yep.
Grimes could have picked that ball up and kicked a goal. And that would have changed everything. But he didn't. He stopped and looked at the umpire, and that's bullshit. You don't do that.
And with that, Vickery was an excellent proponent for playing to the whistle, because there was twice. He was corralled into the boundary line by McMillan and Thompson on two separate occasions.
Hansen as well, yeah.
Yeah, it's on the line kind of thing, and didn't go out of bounds, no controversy there, but he played it to the whistle, kept hungry, grabbed the ball, and managed to short step two guys that he had no business short stepping around.
He took some big marks too.
He had a great game.
Just on the decision too, there were, I think, 30 of the players who were around that ball.
Yeah.
So it is, and most of them stopped.
Yeah.
So it's obviously it's hard to see what's going on there.
Yeah.
You'd rather that the umpires call what they see, not guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And obviously they're not deciding the game.
Yeah.
In two senses of the word. One, they're not trying to decide the game. They're not biased, like you say. It's a mistake.
Exactly.
And two, there's a lot more that decided that game.
That wasn't what cost us the game.
Yeah.
No.
Again, it's opportunities. I mean, in the other games we had accuracy was an issue. For Richmond, it definitely wasn't. They had a brilliant conversion rate, but they didn't have the opportunities. They kicked 14-4, but that's only 18 shots on goal. There wasn't many rush behinds.
Versus 30, yeah.
Yeah.
You going to say, Ben?
Well, what I think was two main factors. Was that if it wasn't for Alex Rance, we would have got pumped.
Yep.
No two ways about it. He was everywhere across the back lines. And if North Melbourne could kick straight, we would have got pumped again.
Yep.
And so they're the two things that stopped us from getting absolutely humiliated.
What's the inside 50 count? 42 to 55. So not that bad. But
I think a lot of those were in the first
What was the
half.
time spent in 50, though? Because in order to have it inside 50, you've got to get it out of 50.
Yep.
So it's either kick a goal or you get it out. And there wasn't a whole lot of that. And I thought Rance did excellent to cheat off his man as soon as the ball would come in and he see it's not going to his man, which was Petrie. He'd cheat off straight away and have a huge impact on it.
And there's a lot of times where the Tigers backman and Chapman got caught once where they look and do a blind turn and turn around.
Yeah.
Rance would go, if I'm going to make a mistake, I'm going to be running forward flat out.
I think it was Nahas that got Chaplin.
It was Nahas.
Stupid decision.
Yeah. How are you going to take on Nahas?
He had a nice little match.
Yeah, he did too. He did enough.
Little terrier. But I'll tell you who didn't have a good one was Griffiths. That poor mother. He was great for North. Early on, there's a beautiful mark coming to Revolt. Revolt's jumped up high, gone to grab it, and fucking Griffith comes
almost
across.
mark of the year.
Comes across, hit his shoulders and spoils
screamer.
it. Yep. Just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
He was a controversial selection.
Yeah.
As well. Is he a broken finger or something?
Yeah, a strained thumb or thing or something like that. Yeah. Coming to while. And
you'd have to say they've gotten that wrong. Because he had a night to forget. I think he kicked 0-2 as well.
Yeah, 0-2. And did he go off as a sub? Was it him?
Yeah, he got subbed because
I think so.
And they brought on Conco, who actually did all right
for
having
kicked the goal within
fuck all
30 seconds or something like that.
The media a bit harsh on him, but I thought coming on as a sub, putting those legs in, I think he did what he needed to do. I don't think it was really a bad call.
Yeah, it was a good night for subs putting the legs in. Thomas did that too. Unfortunately, when you look at the reverse angle, you see he's just sort of put the boots in the chest, which you fucking shouldn't do anyway.
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid.
He got a fine and deserved it for stupidity.
Yeah. I think it was Grimes.
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
Grimes has done the head back. And look,
He nearly gave himself whiplash. Poor lad.
I mean, any team that's got Brent Harvey in it can't really argue with that sort of shit. He's played it up. He's got the 50. Fair play to him.
So that truth be told, there were a lot of sort of tombstoning from a couple of North Melbourne players who, as soon as someone goes to the ball, just flop, just boom, ball it over. You're like, dude, really? Come on, man. The other thing, I knew we were fucked when Cameron McIntosh had a shot from centre half back in like the first quarter. Gets the ball streaming down. There is no one. Nah, having a shot. Cracks it down there, straight to the position.
Yeah.
I do like how he backed himself in, but
there's backing yourself in, and then there's buying a lottery ticket and spending it before the draws even happen.
He butchered it, literally. He did the John Butcher.
He stabbed it, got his guts out.
But one thing that I did notice in the game that's going to hurt North no end is the amount of slip tackles. I mean, granted, half of those were Dusty Martin's fend-offs.
Yeah. Jeez, he was on point with his fend-offs, wasn't he?
Oh, absolutely. I tell you what, Haynes massive over in the NFL. If Martin wants to have a second career, he could do worse.
Definitely could do worse.
I don't know how he's going to go with the structure.
Has done worse.
Here's the plan. Fuck plans.
Here's the plan. Take steroids, get fucked up, rock up Saturday.
Winning. I'm already started.
I've been practicing that for years. I'm ready.
Now, we've already mentioned ex-Carlton players, but if Jared Waite wasn't best on ground, I don't know what's going on. He had an absolute ripper.
To me, there's only 3 names worth mentioning in best on ground. Waite's one of them. Harvey, second one, and Jacobs to keep.
Jacobs,
to keep Cochin. Oh, that was the thing too. Cochin, the curse of 9. Last year, Richmond gets beaten by 9th in the finals. This year,
no, it was the year before.
Or year before, whatever. This year they win 9 straight. Cochin, wearing number 9, gets 9 touches and they get fucked up. So avoid 9. Just Cochin has to change his number now.
Yeah, but here's the thing, man. I reckon I've got this one figured it out. And it's like, with the addition of Gold Coast and GWS, the real true Richmond 9th finish has actually been elevated a little bit because of those 2 extra people coming into the sample group. Okay. So it really equates to what is now a first round finals exit.
Right.
Shouldn't it drop down?
It should, but
come
never
with me with your logic. What is your bullshit?
No. You're the number 9 curse makes much more sense.
That's what I'm fucking saying.
Hey, all I'm saying is glass houses. Let's not throw boulders. When you're talking about best on ground, I think you left Tyrone Vickery out of that because he had an awesome game as well. But Jacobs, now, we went to a couple of North Melbourne games early on in the year, and he was the whipping boy of the crowd.
Yeah, wasn't he?
We were sitting in the members, and they did not want Jacobs on the ground. He kept Cochin. How many kicks did Cochin have?
Don't know. 4?
Not many is the answer.
3
kicks.
6 handballs.
Yep.
And 6 handballs, I think a lot of those handballs were in the one passage of play.
Yeah.
It was a give, get, give again.
It could have counted a few spoils as handballs there, I think.
Yeah. To say that that's the best tagging role that's happened this year is an understatement.
Yeah.
Oh, look, Jacobs was struggling for a spot end of the last year, and if Greenwood was still at North Melbourne, Jacobs wouldn't be.
I think that's probably right.
He would have been missing. So if anyone from Collingwood speaks to Jacobs, you can fuck right off.
Spud Ferrito had a good one too. I thought
he played really well. Played
very smart.
Yeah,
he's one of those blokes that when he sticks to basics, he can be fucking great. Like, he's solid. But when he decides, I'm going for a run, lads.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Spud, just don't.
Well, that's why I think was impressive. Well, I agree with what you said, because I think that this was a role where he had to take his opponent very seriously because it's obviously important. And so you stop giving yourself that sort of free will and free reign to try something. You're like, nah, this is my fucking job. I've got to do it.
He's probably had 2 weeks to think about it as well.
Yeah, true.
Because obviously they knew who they were playing in the first week of finals, and they rested a lot of players. So he's had time to think about it, time to watch it.
Yeah.
And they've executed a game plan. You got to say the game plan that North Melbourne executed was absolutely brilliant. Getting rid of Ellis, getting rid of Cochin.
Yep.
And
Delidio was kept down.
Kept quiet. They couldn't keep him as quiet as Cochin, but I mean, you keep Delidio to under 20 touches.
Oh, you're doing well.
That's how you stop Richmond.
Yeah.
And Higgins also had a brilliant game in terms of.
Up.
Oh, that was just 2 guys going at the ball flat chat.
Isn't that funny? Because
Grimes,
that was brilliant for Grimes. And then he caught his balance halfway before he hit the ground. And then he throws his head back from a little test chat from Lindsay Thomas. That's the way it goes.
And look, I did not think Grimes had that in him.
No.
I had no idea that he could
got straight up.
That. Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
That's what was so impressive. It was like, holy shit.
It's like finals.
When did he learn that? Where was this fucking all year?
But like we're saying, how good it was to have 60,000 at the G on Saturday night.
Yeah.
This felt like finals now because it's 90,000 in the sunshine.
A noisy 90,000.
And look, at the start of the season, I tipped Jared Waite as like a smoky for the Coleman. And I think...
Well, he didn't get there.
In a roundabout way, what I was trying to say was that he'd do something this year.
Yeah.
And he did. And that's how I'm dealing with things at the moment.
A brilliant month. And again, Waite was another whipping boy. But...
So I'm classing that as like I actually got a prediction right for the season.
Yep, you got it.
So, I mean, I lost, but I really kind of won.
But I tell you what, he's still a smoky for the Coleman.
Is he? Yeah, he's still getting it. Yeah, he's got next year.
I mean, the Coleman's already been awarded and it's over. But,
Details.
But he could kick the most goals of the year if he kicks 30 next week. Or 15-15, you know.
Yeah.
You'd have to say it.
Well, I mean, crazier things have never happened.
Correct. But yeah, again, poor old Tigers. 3 years, 3 exits. Obviously, social media and the radio has been inundated with calls to sack Hardwick.
Yeah,
worst decision they could make.
Exactly. And you can see I've got my Tigers top on today. It's not official because everything official I've got has gone through the microwave. So, I've got a microwave on the patio just designated for Richmond merchandise.
It comes with the membership,
goes
doesn't
through
it?
the head.
Sponsored by Harvey Norman.
Panasonic, come in there.
Yeah.
Got it there. But yeah, we didn't deserve it. So
I checked it out. He is the second longest serving coach at Richmond.
Really?
6 years.
Jesus.
Second, obviously, the longest is Tommy Hafey.
Yeah.
So he's got a fair way to catch up to old T-shirt Tommy.
Yeah.
But he's got one more year to run on his contract, and there is no doubt, they'll do a review.
Yeah.
He's getting next year.
Yeah.
Has to.
If he has to make finals next year
Yeah.
again, and you'd suggest that if they don't win one, they're going to start asking questions, which I think is the wrong thing to do because he's the right man.
Yeah.
I do.
Dumb mistakes cost them this year.
Yeah, and it's not coaching mistakes that's cost them. It's
No.
player mistakes. And
Well, he might have made a bit of a bad choice in the inclusions.
Maybe.
Maybe. But the game was still there to be won.
But even there, now we spoke about Griffin. Made it for the right reasons though. Because I heard somebody mention on radio. What if let's say Merritt goes down with an injury in the first quarter?
Yeah.
You've got no other tools. I mean, you take Tyrone Vickery out. He's your best marking forward on the day. Yeah. It really limits the rest of your team.
Yeah.
So for team balance, it made sense.
True.
It was the wrong decision in the end.
Yeah.
But it made sense.
Yep. Maybe swap him and Conker with the sub vest.
Maybe so.
Maybe.
But
So
we're talking maybes. To be honest,
Yeah.
that team on the field is capable of beating North. So it's not to do
Griffiths
with selections.
kicks 1 goal, 2 goals that they win. He's a genius.
Yeah, exactly.
The funny thing is, North has had the wood on Richmond for quite a while,
Yeah,
except for the round 23,
It's
which
9 out of 10 or something they've won.
Something.
but they just match up so identically. Like you've got, Waite and Vickery. They're either hot or they're cold.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
Yeah.
You've got midfielders in Swallow and Cochin are quite similar in the way they play. They're both smooth and get a surprising amount of tackles and the amount of ball. And you've got Harvey and Deledio. Deledio's probably the more consistent one. Then you've got Atley and Hooley, who are both speedy backline players that'll run forward and get the ball moving quickly. Hooley's the better one there, no doubt.
Yeah.
But they play such a similar game plan with slightly different abilities.
Frito and Chapman. Yeah, same kind of player as well.
I think our sort of B team players are equally as shit. Makes sense. So they've got just as much chance of having a really good game on any given night as opposed to having out-and-out stars, which they're capable of having a bad night every now and then. Like our B players are capable of having a really good night every now and then.
The only difference I think was North have got nothing like Dusty Martin and Richmond got nothing like Ben Brown.
I don't think there's anything like Dusty Martin and Ben Brown out there.
No, they're two rather unique individuals. Nicky Dale was kept pretty quiet in that match too, which would have been a bigger story had North lost. But as it was, it didn't end up mattering so much.
Now, Goldstein dominated the hit-outs again, and like we said, he's going to get 1,000. for the year, which is something. But I thought around the ground, Marek did well. Goldstein certainly didn't dominate. Made some poor decisions, but that can happen.
Well, I thought Marek.
He managed to negate Goldstein's run, which has been a fantastic part of his game that he's developed in the last couple of years. His ability to push forward and just set up play. He very rarely does the long bomb. He normally tries to find a good handball. But he got holding the ball in the first quarter. I think that sort of put him off using the ball or taking time to use the ball for the rest of the match. But Marek, his stats won't tell the story, but he actually, I thought, was probably better than Goldstein for maybe 2 and a bit quarters.
Yeah, besides hitouts, absolutely, around the ground. So we look at semi-finals this week. None of these games are certainties either way.
Yeah.
I think it's good for the contest that both of the bottom 4 sides are coming in unblemished, without injury clouds.
Yep.
Both of the top 4 sides got players that are unavailable, and other players that are underdone, trying to get them back in.
Yeah, if only you could rest players now.
If only. MCG Friday night, Hawks versus Adelaide. Not confident at all in Hawks. Gunston cannot play.
Yeah.
Which means you either bring in Schoenmakers, which I thought should be in the side anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. Or Spanger.
You got to bring Spanger in.
Well, I think Spanger's only ever lost 1 game for Hawthorn.
Really?
1 game.
Jesus.
Need you some Jesus.
Yeah, it brings a lot. Interesting. Sorry, on Hawthorn last week, if they dropped Frawley for Spanger, that would have been the premiership side running out again, and that's never happened before in the history of AFL VFL.
Wow.
Well, on form, you think it could happen. Frawley doesn't deserve his spot based on last week.
But Gunston out, you can't drop him.
Exactly. And he is one of those players that his upside is so good that you'd want to have him.
I mean, he's missed half the year with injury as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, we saw the Melbourne Frawley last week. I remember seeing one bit where the forwards all do it. They get the ball and they just throw themselves forward, trying to get a push in the back decision. He did that twice, but there was no one tackling him, so it just looked like
bit hard.
Just tombstoned.
I'm Supermaning, and it looked a bit dumb. But
you're a fucking dickhead. Let's be honest. But man up, man. There's no excuse for any AFL player to be taking dives. Yeah. I'm so against it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But
that's some self-respect, guys. Yeah. Fucking hell.
I don't think you're the first person to use those words either. Like, have some self-respect.
Yeah.
Diving. I've heard that with a few other commentators.
You guys are playing Geelong round 1 next year, aren't you?
Oh, fuck no.
With 2 Selwoods in there, you're fucked.
I might not make it next year.
So Hawthorn haven't lost 2 in a row all year, but I mean, if they're ever going to, it's going to be this week because the Crows are in the best form of their year, and coming in hot.
You're going to really have to counter, sort of stop the counter play of Adelaide because they look pretty demoralising with how quick their small forwards
get forward. If they kick the ball like Hawthorn kicked the ball like they did last week, they can't beat anybody. And Crows will run out comfortable.
Well, the thing is, it's supposed to be similar conditions, so we're looking at a little bit of early dew and rain. I don't think that was the thing that killed Hawthorn, but it certainly didn't help them.
They didn't help it, yeah. And Saturday night at ANZ Stadium, with I got to pick Hawthorn, but it's not a foregone conclusion by any stretch of the imagination. There could be 2 straight set losses.
Again, none of these games are anywhere near certainties, and if you're betting anyone by over 20 points, you're damn crazy. I'm going to go with Adelaide based on form, because I think the forward line for Hawks struggled last week on Friday. Ruffy had a terrible one, and he won't have 2 terrible ones in a row, but without Gunston there, I think they might just be a little bit struggle for forward pressure.
Yeah, I think he was actually our best player.
Ruffy?
Yeah.
Nah.
He missed some easy shots on goal, but around the ground. He took a screamer in the first quarter. He's never taken a mark like that before in his life.
Never even thought about doing it.
No. If Adelaide Crows get up, I predict 3 Hawthorn players getting suspended.
Look, I think Hawks will win by 4 goals plus. It was close. Adelaide got it.
And Saturday night, ANZ Stadium. This could be the last game at ANZ Stadium if Sydney have anything to do about it. Hosting North. I think that North match up really well against the Swans.
Yeah.
Without
their height.
Without Franklin,
without
Jack, Reed, and who was the other player?
Parker.
Parker.
Now, one of Reed, Parker, or Jack could be back, one or both. I don't think so, but
it's a big risk if you do.
Yeah,
because they go down in the first quarter, and all of a sudden your rotations are fucked.
And look, I think it's going to be a close match, but I think what will make it closer is how composed the Kangaroos were against Richmond. And I think that Sydney have always been a team that are able to control sort of aggressive opponents and sort of add that composure to a game and slow it down and sort of control the pace. But I think North Melbourne were one of the more sort of dynamic in their sort of efforts, where they're going flat out or they're sort of fumbling and fucking it up, that sort of thing. It's not really a consistent sort of structure where Sydney have that. But North Melbourne looked very composed against the Tigers, where Tigers came out sort of ferocious but unpolished. And North Melbourne were good at sort of weathering that sort of initial onset and having that composure, which I thought they lacked for most of the season.
Well, they did, absolutely. And that's the difference with finals football as well. Everyone is more desperate to make that tackle. Yeah. So you've got less time to dispose of it. You've got to make your decisions quicker. And some people make fantastic decisions in microseconds.
Yeah.
Others are kind of like, and then bang, you're on the ground.
Yeah.
But again, it could absolutely be it could be a thriller, it could be a blowout, it could be fucking anything. It's going to be a midfield battle to really watch, because Goldstein on form, you think, is probably going to, at the ball ups, he's going to be pretty good.
Well, Goldstein's going to dominate the ruck. Let's face it.
I think around the ground he could struggle though, because
Pike or Tippett.
Pike, he is strong as fuck, and he will try and body to body Goldstein every chance he gets.
Goldstein's a lot smarter than him. And he's also slow as fuck. Goldstein will kill him around there.
Saying you're the smartest ruckman, it's kind of like saying you're the smartest full forward.
It's damning with faint praise. But see, Goldstein will dominate the ruck, but Kennedy will dominate the clearances, like he has all year for Sydney. He had 39 touches in a losing effort against Freo, and I think he set a record for most consecutive 30-plus games at 10 or 11 or something like that. Again, running into massive form. And Hanbury next to him, who took out the Coaches Association award during the week.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to think Jacobs is going to get the job on Hanbury.
Or Kennedy. I mean, who do you throw him to?
I don't think he can get Kennedy. I think Kennedy is a bit too physical for him.
Yeah.
But I think Jacobs can potentially, and I say that with a fingers crossed, he is more likely to limit Hanbury to a manageable game than he is Kennedy.
It'd be very interesting who goes to Petrie and who goes to Waite in the back line for the Swans, because if Richmond are going to win, if North are going to win, that's where they're going to do it, is their tall marking forwards. The Teddy Richards and Heath Grundy have been found out a few times this year, and they're both old as well. It's well known that Swans need help down back. If those tall forwards can get on top, it's going to be North could win with less inside 50s
if the ball gets there often enough.
Yeah, that's it.
Inside 50s is going to be where it matters most, because North, not only are they tall, but in the last month, Jared Wade has shown some fantastic forward pressure on the defenders.
Yeah.
He had a really nice holding the ball over the weekend.
The only thing is he doesn't do it 2 games in a row very often.
Yeah, and it's nervous because you never know who's going to turn up, but he's had a really good month, Wade. So, back him in, I guess.
5 years rest did him wonders.
5 years rest.
But, again, it's the speed of their City backline as well that may potentially get found out, because little guys like Nahas and Boomer will be running around there like blue-ass flies.
You got Rowan, Lewis, and there's one other name, Nick Smith. If Nick Smith plays, because I think he's under injury clouds as well.
Their midfield will push back as well.
Yeah, they've got the cattle there. It's whether they turn up on the day.
Yeah.
The other big thing for Sydney was Isaac Heaney. I know he copped an injury last week against Freo early, but he looked like Bambi in his first finals game.
Yeah.
And we know how good a player he is.
Yep.
He won't put in 2 of those efforts in a row.
Yep.
So he's got to have a big one.
Yep.
But if you're the bloke standing, the first thing you're going to do is just run at him. I don't know who's going to get the gig, but if he looked like Bambi last week, you want to get him back in that box as quick as possible.
Yeah, as quickly as possible.
You don't want him to get early touches in the first quarter. If you can keep him down to 1 or 2, you've got a long way to shutting him down.
But this time of the year, there's no more bad games, is there?
Yeah, exactly.
There are crackers everywhere.
Yep. Yeah, and it's just like, you notice the difference between the regular season and when you've got, when you're playing for all the biggies.
Everything's on the line.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like when you're watching regular season and, things are a little bit slow, you're like, go grab a drink from the fridge.
Yeah.
In finals footy, you grab a drink and there's just been 3 penalties, there's been a fucking massive screamer and a long run.
Yeah, well,
things just happen so quickly in finals, and it's just brilliant.
Yeah, it was good footy to watch. So I think that'll do it for week 1 of the finals, and week 2 coming up.
We're all on North Melbourne, right?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think the Swans midfields win games, and I think the Swans have got the better midfield. But it would not surprise me at all if both Adelaide and North get up.
Yeah, and the thing is, I was saying I'd like to see someone from the sort of bottom half
4.
of the 8 win it, just not Adelaide or North Melbourne. So really, someone from the top 6.
We could see all the Victorian teams drop out this week if
Could very well.
Adelaide City win. But
Yep.
well, I'm back in North and going to run with that. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
All
Yeah, all right, I've lost interest in football for this year. So.
Go Storm.
Yeah, go Storm.
All right, that'll do us.
All right,
See ya.
bye.
See you next Tuesday.
I wonder if anyone actually watched.